Hi, I'm Nick at Avrodiscol, and in my last video, I built a DIY injection molding machine. But before I can make anything with it, I need to make a mold. So in this video, I'm going to do that, and then test out the whole system. To make the mold, I'm using my wood CNC machine. I actually built this CNC machine myself about 7 years ago, but since then, it's mostly been collecting dust in my basement. If you don't know what a CNC machine is, it's basically a robot that cuts out whatever shape you ask it to. So I'm getting it to cut out a spiral shape, and I'm going to use this as my first mold. That's not good. Uh-oh. So it looks like what happened here was that the vacuum guard ended up hitting that bolt there when I was trying to cut across and stalled the motor, which caused the CNC to go crazy. It's an easy fix, I just have to make the bit a little bit longer here. Honestly, I think that'll turn out fine. Maybe I'll run the end of the program again to finish cutting out this shape. Well, that's starting to look better. Don't worry about that part. Just cover it with my hand there. But yeah, I mean, it worked. I just gotta drill out those holes, and then I've gotta drill the aluminum as well. Okay, I know I said I'm making a mold out of wood, but there's a little bit of aluminum involved too. I'm worried that the wood isn't gonna be stiff enough, so I'm gonna sandwich it between 2 plates of aluminum. I don't have a bandsaw, so I had to use my angle grinder to cut the aluminum to shape. It took a long time. I wouldn't recommend doing it this way, but sometimes you just have to get the job done. The plastic will flow through a hole in the center of this plate. So here I'm threading it, and then I'll be able to screw it on to the injection molding machine. The spiral mold is a common shape used for testing. The farther I can get the plastic to flow into this mold, the better. I can use it to fine-tune the machine settings, like temperature or pressure. Now that the mold's done, it's time to assemble it and test out the machine. Well, that didn't work. For some reason, I couldn't thread the mold on. I feel pretty defeated right now. I mean, I've spent so much time working on this machine. I can't even get it to thread on. I knew I'd run into problems, but I thought I'd be able to get at least some plastic into this mold. Well, I'm glad I recorded that, because I went back and looked at the footage, and I was threading the mold the wrong way. This is a classic tale of righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So I just put some Sharpie arrows on this mold. Otherwise, I know I'm gonna make this mistake again. Well, now that we fixed that problem, it's time to go again. Well, I made it in. Not very far. This looks like I got in about 2 inches. Not as much as I was hoping, but you know, it's a start. For a disc mold, the plastic will need to go in about 3 inches, so that's my target. I decided to make the lever arm longer, which will mean I can get more pressure into the mold. I also let the plastic heat up in the barrel a little bit longer. The plastic made it into the spiral a little bit farther, but it's still not enough. Since the longer arm worked better, I made an even longer arm. But when I used it, I actually bent the frame, and the plastic didn't make it in the spiral any farther, so I don't think this is the solution. I'm going to need to fix the frame before I continue using the machine, but I wanted to try one more thing. In the third attempt, I also let the plastic melt for longer, and now I'm thinking that maybe this is the reason the plastic went farther, not the pressure. So I wanted to try heating the plastic for even longer. And I read that a lot of molds are preheated, so I used my hair dryer to heat the mold. Hey, look at that. The spiral is almost exactly 3 inches now, so I think it'll be enough to make a disc mold. And I now have an extensive collection of progressively larger spirals. I also made a few more off camera, and after about 10 shots, the mold is showing some damage. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for my next video where I make a disc mold out of wood. Also, just a reminder, nothing in this video is engineering advice.